go off for GyoGun. Obviously, the last time they did play it was against Team Northampton. That was a 7-4 victory back on the 3rd of October. So that was a little bit of time ago. They had the Ying and the Mirror ban, so we'll see if that does take place here. Zepto, though, banning first.
Yeah, Zepto starting on the defense here of Coastline. Now, I expect this map to be attacker-sided, particularly because Coastline tends to be attacker-sided, but also the fact that Villa, which is usually a defensive favored map, was attacker-sided, tells me that both of these teams likely to do well on their attack, even more so here. That means that Zepto are just going to be aiming for maybe 2-3 rounds on Coastline of their defense, and they'll be very happy. The Lion actually taken off the table here, which is, I mean, a very good operator on Coastline, really good for shutting down those roams, but funnily enough, Zepto didn't actually play it at all on Villa. It was GyoGun who brought it for half of their attack rounds. So yeah, we'll see how that pans out. The Valk as well, a common one. You mentioned the Mirror as well. I expect that to be the final ban here.
Yeah, I expect that from Zepto. It's their most banned defensive operator, and on a map like Coastline as well, where information so critical on operators that are obviously running around and roaming around. And Mirror is one that is extremely annoying to deal with. And it obviously does not make its way through. So Mirror gets banned out, and we look at, honestly, all 4 of those bans, and we just say, job done. Well done, guys. Zepto, GyoGun. Good job.
Yeah, now one interesting thing though is the Yana not being banned out by GyoGun this time, because they banned it, of course, on map 1 alongside the Valkyrie. Not a very common ban. GyoGun, you'd assume, trying to ban out against a particular Zepto player that favors it. Now, I'm not aware which one, if it is one of them that does do it, but they'll have that back in their favor. It looks like it might be Kerry. I mean, if you're trying to counterban Kerry, go for it. That is a great. Oh, no, sorry, Kerry is the GyoGun player. So maybe this is actually going to enable GyoGun to do a bit better if Kerry's got one of his favorite ops in his hands. You definitely wouldn't. You wouldn't ban an operator for your best player. I got stitched up there, mate. I got so stitched up. Wait, this is Penthouse Theater. Let's go, Zepto.
Talk about starting Coastline off with a bit of a bang here inside of Pent Theater. What's interesting, though, I think, is also the team composition for Pent Theater is they don't have the Kaid electric claws for that VIP wall. So that's going to be something that's actually a little bit vulnerable, especially to the Maverick.
Yeah, Maverick's a very weird pick on Coastline, because obviously his utility is up close range hard breach, which there isn't a lot of on this map. Very uncommon. Like usually you'd see either Hibana or Ace on this map for a hard breach if you're gonna bring a hard breach. But I guess Maverick, like even if he doesn't use his util, he's great for like clearing utility with nades or finding kills. Love this castle pick though from Pion. Obviously gets 4 castle barricades now, and he can cut off a lot of line of sights from the big donut, the big courtyard. Oh my god, Lua has found a spawn peak. That's the end of Io-chan.
Yeah, and that's probably something we can expect a lot of here on Coastline as well from both teams. But what I really want to see from Zepto is basically just this on the defense especially. There was kind of like a very small period back in Stage 2 where Coastline wasn't necessarily the defender side, but defenders were playing it a little bit better by being super aggressive with these spawn peaks, making it very difficult for the attacking team to make their way onto site, make their way over towards the map. But for whatever reason, one or the other, that's kind of dwindled a little bit in recent times, closer towards Stage 3. That sort of spawn peak just buys so much time for Zepto defensively. Rekchan just got lit up. And obviously, as I mentioned before, the Maverick over towards that VIP wall will obviously be spending most of his time over there.
VIP, a really important point of contention. I'm reloading. Kerry is so close to site as well as Araba. They're just looking for an opportunity. They're pinging out where he wants to go and get a plant down. It's very hard to deny plant from that corner if Araba can get there, especially with VIP control.
I mean, so who's on site here for Zepto, though? Like, is there anyone actually on site, or they're just watching?
Oh,
they're just watching.
Yeah,
they're playing from the corridor.
Yeah, Warshoy has actually opened it up so he can really cross these lines of sight. Nowhere though, almost dies in the same position. He needs to go deep into the corner. And Zepto, they managed to sneak in. That's a huge play from Pion. It's only Lamball left. Wow, that is a very, very nice, cheeky little setup from Zepto.
They basically baited them to go on site by showing nothing on site, allowing them to push in from that doorway near VIP. And essentially from there, they're just holding the corridors, holding angles that they opened up, looking onto site, made it impossible to even just move on site. Well played from Zepto, and I think it's really just caught GyoGun off guard completely. I mean, it got me off guard completely as well. Typically, there's so much emphasis on denying that VIP wall, denying entry onto site, and playing from site for Pen Theater, and I think that's where maybe a lot of teams tend to lose out on Pen Theater, but this is nice from Zepto.
Yeah, I really love that strategy. Like, the main pillar of that strat was playing at 90 with walls open, and you can actually have a lot deeper angles than you might have realized inside. It's actually two walls that are open, the 90 wall into VIP, and then the VIP wall into Master. And with both of those open, it meant that he could deny a lot of these plants. Lambor's going to just try and find a consolation frag here. There you go, he gets it. It's not going to mean much. So I'll finish breaking down that penthouse strat. The other big factor there is they got the castle barricades, not only protecting like the VIP hallways.
Good start though, especially on the defense here for Coastline. As you said, we are expecting it to be attacker-sided, but sometimes expectations don't always play out that way, as Washoy is doing his best F-Martyr impression here with the Tachanka.
I love the Tachanka. It's my favorite. You can do so much renovations with this LMG. And yes, earlier today we're having a good game of casual, weren't we, Xenox? And I was just opening up every wall. It's my There's nothing more satisfying than just cleaning a wall. Like, you trace around the perimeter of all the beams and the wall just falls out of place. It's beautiful, really.
And when we saw the player cams, I was going to say player cams, technically it was just the players on stage. GyoGun just not as animated as they previously were, especially last night. Probably sensing, not defeat, but sensing that this is a very difficult task ahead of them. They had an opportunity to they let that slip. Now on Coastline, what happens if you lose here? Well, that's it. You're going to be finishing in 4th place. 4th place is still really good, but the prize pool differential between 3rd and 4th is quite substantial. As you said earlier, it's like 3 times the amount.
Yeah. 15 million yen. It's a lot of money.
15 million yen? Or for
I think that's the total prize pool.
That's the total? Yeah.
Yep, total prize pool.
1.5 million.
Yeah, 1.5 for 3rd place, which is about 13,000 US dollars, whereas only 500,000 yen, which is about 4,500 US dollars for the loser of this match. Zepto definitely got their keen eyes on the 1.5 million yen, and I think that they're in a really good shot to take it. This is a hookah defense though, very spread out defense with lots of roamers. GyoGun once again just trying to focus on the easiest point of interest instead of overcomplicating things. They're just looking on taking this aqua control, looking for a plant on site. But the thing is that the Chank has made all these lines of sight in the default plant spot, so it's going to be super difficult to get that plant down without being shot from people below.
That's going to help though. That's going to help a lot. 3 quick kills in succession. They get 4, even with the pistol nowhere. Zepto's defense just gets shredded. Even with all the Tachanka holes, it just hasn't mattered at all.
Yeah, and that's because of the way that GyoGun decided to hard counter that setup. Like, this setup is really good at countering a passive plan, but GyoGun decided to play off the pick that they got by just sending it really deep. And instead of trying to focus on planting, you focus on completely clearing out the objective. You've got all your players hunting down every single anchor on the site, and it means that you're not allowing those roamers to have an impact. They've got to rotate back up to site, and that's something that Pion's not even going to do. He's just going to sit in office, about to get droned out by Kerry. Oh, no, Kerry won't check this. Oh, did check it. And so they know exactly where he is. Now they'll try and chase him down. There's no time anyway. May as well go for the kill. Round the corner. Come on, Lambor. No. Oh, consolation picks. Undeserved for Pion. I'm going to say it right there. GyoGun, a great round.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's a little bit concerning, actually, considering Hookah Billiards doesn't usually get that minced that easily. I mean, it was 4 deaths in about 5 to 10 seconds, which is very concerning. It was just like a constant chain in the kill feed, continually going off, and it was completely one-sided. Really good though for GyoGun though, because I sort of said at the start of that round, they weren't looking all that animated here on the stage. They were looking a little bit down, out and out, but a much better round for them, and should hopefully let them know that they're definitely in here. They're here on Coastline on the attack. They need to continue though, of course. They need to be able to get more than just the one round. There's a long way to go here. As Zepto head over towards kitchen service.
Definitely showing some depth here for Zepto on this map, as we've said. Zepto have played it quite a few times before. In fact, they beat the old Luster 7 roster, which is... who picked them up? Let me just double check that, because I don't want to leave that stone unturned. Give me a moment. Luster 7, that was Bluebees. So Bluebees under their former name, Luster 7. GyoGun managed to beat them. And we know Bluebees is actually a very, very strong team. They managed to take down Sengoku, if I recall correctly. So definitely a fantastic showing from GyoGun on this map so far. Sorry, from Zepto on this map so far, which is why you would expect that they'd pick it. They've got depth of the sites. They lose hoop, but they don't have to go again. They can just rotate off. Yeah. Going for a nutmeg.
Replicator out! That's what you wanted.
Hard to draw much from the opening 2 rounds though. It was a great start from Zepto in the way that they were able to win Pet Theater, and obviously in the second round, really well executed from GyoGun through Aqua for Hooker Billiards. So it's kind of, it literally is just 1-1, right? They've both been able to sort of throw a punch each.
Yeah, look, we would expect this to be an attacker-sided map, so Zepto really only need one more round to be happy with this, and oh, that's a lot of damage on the Tayo. Nowhere though, hunting for him. Is he going to be able to cut him off before he gets back safely? Indeed he... Oh no!
Wow.
How did he lose that? The DMR wins it. Nowhere's going to be feeling absolutely robbed. Zepto have stolen this round. Another one for Tayo. That is actually disgusting.
You know what? Forget the Roni. I'm going to start running the DMR actually on Aruni.
It's such a good gun. It always has been. Oh, Lambor's going to try and find the 1v5. Got the first one, but Zepto are going to be incredibly happy right now. What is Lua doing hiding under a table? Yeah, this is going to be very cheeky. Look, Zepto now, in my opinion, have run par for the course. They've got their 2 rounds that they need. I mean, assuming that they don't let Lambor clutch this. And that sets them up really well for this match. They realistically only need the 1 more round, and they will have won this half.
Yeah. Obviously, that's always just sort of the expectations. That's always just the guesswork, right? Kind of assume Zepto will be able to do well on the attack. Doesn't always play out that way as Lambo finally gets spotted out.
Come on. Come on, Lua. Come
Lua
on,
should know that Lambo's right there as well. Oh! Shot the air a lot there.
Went for the BM hip fire. If that had been a miss and yeah, if Lambo had won that, then that would have been pretty embarrassing for Lua. So thankfully, did manage to lock it in. 2 rounds to Zepto. That's real nice. But the thing is, like, I'm keen to get your thoughts on this, honestly, Xenox. Pent Theater, you know, really strong, decisive win for Zepto on the first try. But do you go back there now, knowing that you've shown that strat? Like, is that kind of more of a one-off?
Yeah, I would do it again. I mean, sure, you've shown the strat, but are they going to know how to deal with said strat, right? So that's at least 1 extra round that you can go back to Pent Theater and force them into being able to deal with it. So you can basically play it as is once again on the defense. It's typically, you know, when you think of like repeating a strategy, I think generally it's like when an attacking team tries to like be super over aggressive or a rush. Those are the ones that are difficult to do back to back. But defensively, this is something that Zepto can employ once again. You're going to kind of obviously look at it and be like, okay, we can't just try and rush onto site. We can't just go for the plant in front of the window and play with the repel. We need to actually clear them from the corridor. We need to actually play into this. How are we going to do it? They now need to think on the fly, adapt on the fly, and be forced into dealing with it. Now, that may go one of 2 ways. They may actually, you know, win out, Or if they don't, Zepto go up 3-1. Suddenly this looks really good on Coastline for Zepto.
Attackers are moving
Yeah.
out to locate a
No,
bomb
I
and
agree with
defuse
you. I think that Zepto've still got gas in the tank, and I think that by repeating this bomb site, they're putting onus on GyoGun to adapt. And like, it's kind of a may as well thing, you know? Kitchen service, as that was just won by Zepto. That's locked. Hookah Billiards was a decisive GyoGun attack win, so Zepto probably not eager to go back to that yet. And Blue Bar Sunrise, maybe just not their favored site here. So look, let's see. I want to know if GyoGun can figure out this, how to crack this hard-boiled egg. It's going to be very difficult, I think. But like, if this strat was really so good, like everyone would run it, right? So I think it's pretty clear that this is a strong defense, but it's got to have weaknesses. That's the thing. Every single defense does. Let's see if GyoGun can find them.
Yeah, and the biggest disappointment would be if they fall into the bait again. Like, look at this. So you clear
They
up,
kind of do it, I reckon.
you drone on site, and you're like, oh, there's not really many. There's no one on site. We can just go on site, go plant in front of the window. Like, okay, last time that makes sense. They didn't quite maybe understand what was going on. This time though, you cannot allow this to happen again, right? And you can already see, I guess, with the positioning up on the roof. They obviously at this point now switching things up a little bit. I think they've now realized, okay, we need to clear these guys out of the corridor.
Yeah, but the thing is, Zepto have really extended their roam. Like, you've even got a castle barricade on this aqua balcony door. You've got Rekchan over here as well roaming. Been spotted now by the Twitch drone. Oh, Kerry does use the Gon 6 to clear the castle and manage to find Rekchan. This is really good now for GyoGun. This is so good. Wait,
what? On site as well. Wait, what? Areba's just got on site.
Where's the 90 player? They need to be denying this.
They've allowed them to get the plant down. I think they got the repel killed though. Still, wow. Okay. Io-Chan eventually did find one back. Areba gets tired, but it's now again continual trades. Lua in a 1 versus 2. And there's no one on the repel. If you just kill this player on the diffuser, he could have actually won the round. That was an absolute mess from Zepto. They have honestly, like, we've already seen this strategy work. That was the opposite. I don't understand how they've allowed that to happen.
Yeah, well, that was really cool, honestly. Like, I respect GyoGun for really making that work, for going for that still. While you could say, oh, you know, they took the bait, I think that the thing is, like, that you take the bait, you go for that easy, quote-unquote, easy plant, but you just have to, like, keep an eye on the single elements that Zepto are hoping to bring to the table to beat you, to counter that plant. For me, one big thing is the fact that Kerry took the player out that was hanging around in Aqua. That suddenly put a lot more pressure on Zepto. They can no longer just really freely play over in the 90 hallway. They're constantly worried, what if we get peaked from drinks? What if we get pressured? The thing is, there were 2 players, both Lua and Washoy, who were in that hallway and could easily swing into VIP and deny the plant. Now, I'm sure that GyoGun knew about that. I'm sure they had someone on the DJ deck, but that player didn't even need to, like, play their 1v1 because Zepto were just too late. I think part of it is honestly information, Xenox. I don't reckon that Zepto knew that that plant was going down. If they had known that at that exact moment plant was going down, they probably would have gone for it.
Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb and defuse it.
Massive though for GyoGun though. They needed, honestly, something to just go their way. A reprieve. They found it. And well executed on their part as well. It's easy to sit back and just sort of critique Zepto and be like, oh, how did this happen? But GyoGun had to make it happen. And they punished their mistake. Yep, took a risk, punished their mistake, and got the round win. And if they can make it 3-2, all of a sudden with 1 round to go, then that would actually put themselves in a position that they can achieve that path of the course on attack of Coastline and maybe take a bit of a breather. Still an opportunity though for Zepto here, 2 more opportunities at that to get a little bit more here on their defense as they go back over to Hookah Billiards.
I'd say pressure is on GyoGun here. Like, they are the ones that, in my opinion, need this more than Zepto do. Like, Zepto, they've already hit what I would consider is an okay result for this defense. It's GyoGun who really needs to nail home some better attacks. And at the moment, they have the momentum from that previous round. Lua's feeling a bit of pressure up here. the nades coming through that top white window, but GyoGun haven't made a lot of progress. Keep in mind that last... Oh, no! That is a very nice shot from Tayo. The power of the DMR once again showcased. Zepto have the opening pick. That's great. That stops GyoGun's momentum, especially considering last time GyoGun attacked this, they nearly went flawless.
Attackers have located a bomb.
DMR Rooney is the play, Dev. It is, I'm a converter. I'm a believer.
Bomb located by attackers.
Oh, Pion. Prone. Doesn't always work out. Rakchan there, though, comes through for the trade. So it's a 1-for-1 in that exchange. Keeps Zepto with the advantage. The Finker, gone. The Twitch, gone. You got the soft breach in the Buck, the hard breach in the Hibana, and you've got the Yana. So not a horrible little three-man combo here for GyoGun. Kerry, the mark is off though. The ping is off. To your left. To your left, Kerry.
Oh, this could be
To the left, to the left.
Oh, nah, Rekchan's moved away. It's not going to happen. So, almost timing there. Look, Zepto have really changed their strategy compared to last time. Remember, they went for that really vertical strat with all the roamers. And GyoGun liked that because it meant Sight was quite vulnerable. This time Sight is not vulnerable. GyoGun have their numbers disadvantaged. 30 seconds left. This is going to be incredibly difficult. They're just going to have to file it up from hookah, balcony, and from these stairs. And honestly, I just can't see this working.
Yeah, Cool Vibes is just not going to be the play here for Kerry. Holding that sort of angle. Look at Waishoy. Oh, the high ground, generally the advantage, but Kerry does actually quite well there, and now can get a bit of a footing, but Waishoy pulls out the shotgun.
Wow!
Rekchan as well shuts down Araba. 3-2 for Zepto. Their defense on Coastline continues to impress.
Fantastic showing for Zepto here. Once again, the adaptation, this time from Zepto, nets them a round win. Instead of going for that heavy roam downstairs with all the vert, with the Tachenka, they instead look to prioritize on site. They even brought the Warden from Pion to try and counter any smoke-based pushes from the Twitch of Nowhere. But Nowhere was taken out really early. Again, just nice aim from Zepto, nice play, nice read. Tayo found that opening with the DMR. Zepto made sure to refrag every pick that GyoGun found, and GyoGun didn't realistically have a valid execute strategy with the amount of ground that they had taken and with the number of picks that they had managed to achieve. So now Zepto are... They've guaranteed at least an even half on their defense, and I think they can do even better than that. I think Zepto could well find a 4-2 here. Remember, Kitchen Service previously defended was a convincing win for Zepto. GyoGun need to get on their bike because they are fighting from behind.
Yeah, and not many more opportunities now for GyoGun. This is the last round that they're going to be having an attacking round on Coastline. Don't want to say it's like must win, but it's in that kind of territory, it's in that kind of conversation. A 4-2 defensive half for Zepto would be so demoralizing for GyoGun. Of course, already down one map. This is a best of 3. And for those that have maybe only just tuned in very recently, of course, we've got the grand final coming up later on after this match. Cyclops and USG will be going toe-to-toe. What should be a very fascinating affair. Cyclops will be the favorites in that, but you won't want to count out USG.
For sure, it's a very similar story to what we're looking at right here. Zepto, no doubt the favorites this game, but you can't count out GyoGun because they have had some very, very strong moments, some serious highlights. They're on the verge of finding
match points on Villa.
Oh, yeah, huge that was, but unfortunately for them, it just wasn't quite enough. And Zepto have really kind of given them a bit of a lesson here. A lot of aggression from Zepto. Still Lewis so confident on the peak. Here comes Rekchan going for a run out outside, and he does manage to take down Nowhere. A fantastic pick really early on the back of an aggressive run out. Rekchan so close to finding another one here.
Yeah, and this is what Zepto has done so well here on Coastline. Being aggressive on their defense, finding spawn peaks, finding runouts, finding these early engagements. Lua. very low on health, half health, and probably with a minute and a half left, don't need to be throwing your life away. Gonna get naded out here as well. The Banshee is slowing them down momentarily. The nade did find the kill onto Lewis. Pyeon, though, got a trade elsewhere on the map against Kerry, who unfortunately has not been able to bring their Villa form over to Coastline. 1 of 4 now in the Yana. Araba gets absolutely shredded by Retchan, but Lambor there on the Finca, able to find another kill in the round, makes it 3 versus 3. Minute 10 seconds left. Play over towards White Stairs. Tayo on cool vibes. What is Lambor doing there? Just walks straight onto site. Does not care about cool vibes at all. On site, Araba still needs to make the cross though with the diffuser, but Lambor just slices and dices in kitchen.
Some serious potential now for GyoGun. They have numbers advantage. Araba.
Oh, cut the punch!
What?
The
Punch in the face! Io-chan taking down this info on site as well. Araba needs to force this plant down. Pyeon and Tayo, though, they drop into lobby, and there's a lot of lines of sight open to these poor exposed GyoGun players. Pyeon's got a fantastic angle here, but GyoGun aren't giving him anything. Tayo taken out. It's all on Pyeon, and GyoGun looks like they might be able to even up this half.
Lambor has done an amazing job on the Finca here in this final round of the opening half. One more opportunity, though, presents itself for Pyeon. The spray, it's actually not all that bad, but it is not what he is looking for. No health now, 15 seconds, can't find the kills, can't find anything, and Lambor finds one more kill for the round. An explosive round from the Finca. It's a 3-3 half. It's still a very good half for Zepto on their defense, but it's not the calamity of a 4-2 defensive half, right? That would have been so disastrous had it been. Unfortunately, Lambor steps up to the plate to save the day for GyoGun.
There's a serious shot for GyoGun now. They're going to have to move over onto their defensive side and face the wrath of Zepto's attacks. But at the very least, they've managed to come away with just as many rounds on their side as on the side of their opponents. A decent half. We could have expected a 4-2, but I'm going to double check the Japan Championship stats on Coastline so far. It has been played quite a few times, and it is actually an attacker-sided map, so the stats do back it up. In this league in particular, 56% attacker-sided. That means Zepto are going to be very satisfied still with that half. Like, obviously, GyoGun managed to even it up, but it's kind of a situation where GyoGun, a 4-2 against them would have been really bad, and a 3-3 against them is just not great. So it's something. It's not everything. I'm not going to tell you that GyoGun is favored to take this because they aren't. Zepto are still in a great position to close out this series 2-0.
10 seconds left before insertion.
Adding my +1.
5 seconds to go. Attackers are moving to defuse the bomb.
Well, now the expectations are on Zepto on their attack to sort of pull through now in terms of getting the job done on an attacker side of Coastline. Obviously for GyoGun, they couldn't pull out the 4-2 half, so the opportunity presents itself for Zepto to do just that and get themselves their own 4-2 half on the attack.
I'm out. Gotta reload.
Hooker Billiards will be the side of choice for GyoGun.
Oh, they could just go for this.
I reckon they could just walk in. Wishoy have the repel as well. Luo maybe wants to open up a sideline over towards Cool Vibes. Wishoy can get a lot of vision. Can maybe find the down onto nowhere. A lot of damage, but not the down. And then Lambor, guess who? Shows up again. Retchan, though, says not this time around to Lambor. And then Tayo as well, down below, pushing into Sunrise. Finds a kill onto one... Io-chan. Lua now on site, looking to get the plant down. Is denied though. Well, not denied, but does get off of it. Tayo now to Cool Vibes. The push through from Sunrise now has been successful. Even more control on site here has been established. 2 versus 2 though. And Lua can't plant just yet. Oh, Kerry the angle.
Now, Kerry can wallbang here onto Lua. That couch is destructible, or at least penetrable. Oh, the gas, though, that is perfect. Lua forced out once again, but Tayo's in a great position. He just has to land it! Zepto! That's a 1v2. They won't forget. They take the lead.
Oh! Talk about a start to the second half. Tayo is able to just sneak his way through from start to finish. Pushed into Sunrise, found an early kill, then through Cool Vibes. And eventually late round 2 clutch kills to win the round. For Zepto, they now take a 4-3 lead here on Coastline.
Fantastic attack on all counts from Zepto. I love the way that they went for that execute with only a minute into the round. Like, there were 2 minutes left on the clock, and those guys are like, yeah, time to get in there, time to get the job done. They wasted no time whatsoever. GyoGun, they fought back with all their might. They even found the opening pick, but Landball was traded straight after. GyoGun did a good job to even it back to 2-on-2 and even to find the first pick in that 2v2, but sometimes Tayo diff, and a clutch that is certainly going to help out Zepto here as they take the lead. GyoGun forced with their tail between their legs to defend kitchen and service instead.
10 seconds left. 5 seconds remaining.
And despite that round win for Zepto, though, it was actually a pretty close round almost for GyoGun to start their defense off to the perfect start. That really would have maybe shifted the narrative a little bit. They would have been up 4-3. They would have looked like maybe having a solid chance to do well here defensively on Coastline. Not to be. Now the narrative is that Zepto are just a couple of rounds away from closing out this battle for third place.
Ooh, Sarush? That's very strange. Why would you use a nade to do that when you could use a Gon 6 if you wanted, or just shoot it down? Maybe it's to destroy like an ADS or something? It looks like Zepto's about to rush again, to be honest.
They are definitely about to rush. They got 3 set up here over towards the server store, trying to get this barbed wire. Well, Shoy finds a kill onto Lamport. Didn't actually see where that was from, but they're going to now just drone in and eventually going to push in as well. Very low health.
No.
So at only about half health, so a bit of an easy fight there for Washoy. Now makes that, say, 2-man advantage straight onto site, straight in towards service. Nowhere over towards White Stairs, as there's just going to be a trade there elsewhere as well. 2-man advantage still for Zepto with 2 minutes on the clock. Nowhere for White, but unfortunately from that lobby entrance, it's Pion who gets the trade back. Ariba, the last one left, spots one, but that gives away his position entirely. Nice use, though, of the long desk. 2 versus 1, and they know exactly where he is.
We had a 1v2 last round from Zepto. Can we find one this round from Ireba? Still bulletproof camera in pocket, spotted on the drone. No C4, no impacts, no nothing other than this MP5. Gonna have to walk straight into that crossfire. It's got a pretty good idea of where they are. Tayo once again locks the round in. Zepto seem unstoppable on their attack.
Yeah, to a degree. I mean, I wouldn't say unstoppable. There's definitely been moments where, especially in that round prior, obviously, you know, that comes down to the last couple of moments. Even in this game as well, 1v2, it's not like they're complete stomps, but they definitely look controlled with what their plan of attack is. In that case, the one thing that was questionable, obviously, was that nade on the kitchen window. That was a little bit peculiar. And then the rush in through service, which you basically, you know, assumed was going to be happening with the way that they were setting up. But they had players elsewhere. That was the main thing, Dev, right? They had players elsewhere, finding kills elsewhere. That makes pushing into service so much easier. It's not like they're trying to funnel five players through service doors. So Zepto's attack was at least not one-dimensional. Had multiple facets of attacks and therefore overwhelmed GyoGun. We head back over towards Hooker Billiards. Another attempt for GyoGun on the defense. This time they're going to bring the Thunderbird, those Kona stations. The way that they're set up, I think here with the Mozzie as well, maybe they might look to get a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah, well, that's the thing with the Kona stations. Obviously, if you... Okay, there is actually one on the roams. This further backs up the point I was about to make. If you get damaged on the roam, you can come back to site and get healed up. Let's be honest, in a game where, you know, 40, 50, 60% headshot ratios are not uncommon, and one-hit kill headshot, like, the Thunderbird Kona stations aren't the most impactful thing in the world, but it's nice, and it does help a little bit. Plus, Kerry, fantastic fragger. Has been quiet this game, I will say, but give him the spear. Like, that assault rifle on defense is easily one of the best guns that the defense has available to them, and a player that's comfortable with that Thunderbird, with the C4 and the rifle, can do a hell of a lot of damage.
Nitrocell as well. Or the Thunderbird, it's just a generally well-equipped operator. But I think right now they got more issues than worrying about corner stations and healing, because for Zepto, they've been so clinical in their attack. Kerry, though, there is that spear put to good use, but does get traded immediately. We'll go down here in the corridor. Chen, though, just needs to be careful, doesn't give away his life, looking for a bit of a wall bang. Zepto actually found another kill at the exact same time. Beyond now gives Zepto a one-man advantage very early on in the round. Again, this has been now a trend in this second half. Zepto, early on, their early engagements, they're just consistently winning them with ease. There's a player down below. Rekchen now realizes this. Oh, Rekchen found the kill, but it was at least a trade through Lambo, who pushed up on the alibi. 3 versus 2.
There are a lot of angles for Zepto to deal with, and GyoGun are making sure not to let them rest. Iraba's got some fantastic lines of sight to play with this open wall into the VIP hallway, plus a shield to play behind, plus a corner station to boost him up. Lambo as well has quite a few lines of sight to help support, but Zepto have that man advantage. They also have a lot of utility. These nades, for example, flashes, smokes, they have everything they need.
And they rotate over towards Aqua, looking for the default plant. Tyre will go now off the back of that smoke. No Nitrocells at hand. Iraba goes down immediately. Lambo now left alone. And he too joins his friends and teammates in the grave. It is now match point, series point for Zepto. Their skill is starting to really shine through here on Coastline, Dev, and I think the discrepancy between the two teams really starting to shine through.
That's it. Map number 1. We went to all 15 rounds on GyoGun's map pick. Zepto, we knew they had some form on Villa, and they showed that. They managed to get the win over GyoGun. Here on Coastline, though, it's Zepto's map pick. GyoGun, not a favorite of theirs by any stretch of the imagination. And Zepto have been showing their excellence, demonstrating what they can achieve, especially on this attack half, Xenox. They managed 3 defenses, which is lovely, including, you know, a flex onto the Penthouse Theater defense. But on their attack, they have been untouchable 3 rounds in a row. And yes, some close rounds there. But at the end of the day, it feels like round by round, Zepto have just been barreling towards taking this series, tripling their prize winnings from this tournament, and taking all the clout that goes with being the 3rd best team in the Japan Championship.
Reinforcing wall. Head down. Go get it, mate.
Deploying. 10 seconds remaining.
Head deployed. Awaiting target.
Well, Go can bring it back. We've seen multiple times throughout the Japan Championship playoff bracket teams coming back from these kind of deficits. Obviously, Zepto did it themselves, didn't they? Back over on Villa.
Yeah, they managed to weather the storm on 5 match points against them.
Exactly.
GyoGun have a 0% strike rate this game out of 5 attempts on match point. Zepto have a 100% strike rate on match point. Let's see if they can maintain that and close it here.
Yeah, a little bit of storyline, of course, for GyoGun. They haven't actually won on a defense round yet either. It was a 3-3 first half. So far here in the second half, it's just been 3 attacking rounds for Zepto.
I'm out. Gotta reload.
Will that change?
Grenade out on activated.
Or will this be a 7-3 victory for Zepto? Iraba has had a rough series. A little bit better, though, at least here on Coastline. Last Sunrise is going to be the location. Rekchen just pushes straight in, but actually gets wrecked. Well, can he stick this plant very early on at the 2-minute mark? The user is Lambo, though, gets the Nitrocell kill. Oh, but then Washoi and Pyeon find 2. Pyeon finds a second immediately afterwards. Washoi loses his life. What is going on this round?
It's a 1v2! That's it! GyoGun! They managed to get the retake. What a play, down from a 3v5, I believe it was, and GyoGun erupt into action. I still can't help but think Zepto have the advantage here, once again.
Setting my plus.
Going back to Kitchen.
seconds left.
for our good friends on GyoGun. They've struggled.
5 seconds to go.
They've just struggled consistently on defense while they finally got the Blue Bar Sunrise. I mean, it was so close that can we really read much into it? Can we really believe that they'll manage to pull that off again? This kitchen attack as well from Zepto. Remember how convincing that was? That was just so good. It was a semi-rush service.
Yep. Made on that kitchen window, rush service. They did find a couple of kills off-site elsewhere. And honestly, the way that GyoGun are actually setting up for this right now, I don't see why. I mean, if they get the elimination onto Ayachan, service is completely open.
Thrown out.
Thrown
Surely
out.
this is a kill. Oh.
Was that a... no, that, I thought that was maybe going to be like
real.
a Gemini bait or something, but yeah, that was real. That was Rekchan. Ayachan feeling the pressure here inside a service, anticipating that someone is going to peek this. Someone is going to try and swing on in. But Zepto are playing this a little bit more conventionally. Lua finds a kill onto Lambor, and then Tayo finds a kill onto Nowhere. Ayachan, though, wins the battle over in service, but it is trades, again, in favor of Zepto. Areba, one Ayachan.
Attackers have dropped the bomb diffuser.
This has got to be it, surely, for Zepto, but GyoGun have done a good job to bring this back close. Ayachan to find one more. Oh, he's aggressive. Look at that, but shut down.
GG.
It's Tayo. Surely, Xenox, this is GG. 3 versus 1 with a minute and a half to go. Areba baiting for a pick. Zepto completely droning outside. They have 2 players to watch these cameras, and there's the drone, the spot. And Washoy can now flash out and rotate to support his teammates.
Oh, that's a beautiful nade, and yet doesn't find the kill to deny the plant. Goes down. That's it. That is 3rd place achieved for Zepto here at the Japan Championship. A well-earned 3rd place. Honestly, Dev, maybe if the bracket schedule had been a little bit different, they maybe could have found themselves in the grand final. It wasn't